Shalom. First off, I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone GMS of Ruel. Shalom to the elect of Israel, beginning with the 144,000, and to all the Akim priests in this word, week in and week out, and the Akwaf, the few sisters tuning in. May the Lord bestow mercy and faith upon you as we enter into these last days, and may this lesson be edifying. This is the brother Halal from the Great Millstone branch of Chicago. And we're coming upon, the time where the famine of the word is about to officially reach its climax. One day the internet is going to be shut down, and all the information, and, the folly and the dopamine that people once had access to via social media, and endlessly scrolling, it's all going to be taken away from them. Because on apps, like here on TikTok and on Instagram, there's a lot of information circulating that Amalek, which are the small hatters today, including the man that you see on the screen, Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, the Amalekites, they don't want people to know about the shady things that they've done behind closed doors, and the wicked things that they do in the earth. We already see what's going on in Gaza, with them bombing and killing women and children, ads popping up of Palestinian children drinking dirt water. This man, Esau, Edom, beginning with the Amalekites, the least of the flock, are being exposed. And it's all going to end up, it's all going to culminate, in this internet being taken down. So I'm going to let this video play, and may this lesson be edifying to the elect in the body.
This is fucking real. If this is fucking real, hold on, let me go research. Yo, not only is it fucking real, what the fuck is Project Nimbus? What? Yo, this motherfucker right here has to be the Antichrist. There's no way and there's no reason why there should be this much happening all the fucking time, every single day. Yo, the fact that we have to wait it out until this motherfucker's gone, holy shit. Yo,
the U.S. government is now keeping an AI database of any anti-Israel social media content you post. This includes likes, comments, favorites, or even viewing too many of them on social media apps. And they're doing this through Palantir, and in the One Big Beautiful Bill, Trump designated $250 billion to this Israeli tech company. They'll be monitoring all of the data on your phone, compiling an AI database on everyone, on anything you engage that is anti-Israeli. And they're using the excuse that this is for the task force of anti-Semitism, if they're going to try to crack down on anti-Semitic hate crimes before they happen. And in the same bill, Congress added a 10-year ban on states being able to regulate AI. Meaning for the next 10 years, let's say that this backfires into some big Israeli plot to arrest everybody, there's nothing we can do for 10 years legally. And this is being implemented this year at a time that we're not going to know. They're going to compile an AI database, and wherever they want to come for everybody, we will never know. The U.S.
So now, Amalek, has Palantir, collecting databases, collecting data on everything that these Babylonians view. So any post you see, on Instagram, exposing Amalek for the wickedness that they've done, going into the unjust policies, the war, the genocide, the things that they do, they are collecting data on all of the content that we view, man. Me, the person watching this, and very soon, anything that's quote unquote anti-Semitic, as the Elder Malcolm will put it, it's all going to be deemed, unfit to be on the internet, man. So, hey, look, man, the famine of the word is coming soon, man. So I want to start this off. Let's get the book of Amos, chapter 8 and verse 11. And it says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh by Shem Shai." And, us as the prophets, as the men of Yahweh Bashim Shai, this is ultimately what we're waiting for. Because as soon as, we're no longer able to go out there and teach, as soon as the cities are wasted and it becomes too violent out here in these metropolitan cities, in these streets, for us to be able to preach, that's when these prophecies are going to speed up even quicker. And then after a famine of hearing the words of the Lord, eventually there's going to be an actual famine of bread, man. And these people are going to be killing each other and slaughtering each other for the lack of bread and for great tribulation, like it says in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. But verse 12, it says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord and shall not find it. So, all the people that came in contact with the prophets, that walked past us in the streets, that heckled and scoffed us, that called us conspiracy theorists, tell us that we're wearing shower curtains and wearing dresses, calling us false prophets, calling us terrorists, and all manner of, ill names. Eventually, they're gonna seek the prophets, man. They're gonna be, these people are gonna be trying to follow us, man. But while these people are catching hell, the men of Yahweh Bashim Shai, who are sighing and crying for all the wicked abominations being done in the earth, the Lord is gonna have a refuge over them. They're gonna be protected in all their ways, man. The Lord is gonna direct their paths. Verse 13, in that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Right, man, and that thirst represents this wisdom and this knowledge. Us being out there teaching. These people are gonna faint for the thirst, man, from the famine of the word, from the prophets no longer being able to go out there and do what they do. And then the internet is gonna be shut down. So as a man of Yahweh Bashim Shai, we should be studying as much as possible, watching as many videos as possible and obtaining as much information and knowledge as we can, because eventually, this internet is going to be shut down, man. It's going to be blackouts. People are not going to have any Wi-Fi signal. The power is going to be out. It's going to be completely dark out here in Babylon the Great, spiritually and in some cases with these blackouts physically. Let's get the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 4. It says, matter of fact, I start at verse 1, Habakkuk 1 and 1. It says, the burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. It says, O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why doest thou shew me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are they, Salakia, and there are that raise up strife and contention. It says, therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doeth never go forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. And this is what happens as a result. Amalek, Esau in general, but mainly Amalek, the chief tribe of the house of Esau, they can go throughout the world doing whatever wickedness and abomination that they can and get away with it. Having those sewers underground, when them Amalekites were crawling out of those sewers in New York City, and a lot of people forgot about that, man. And then when they actually searched down there in the sewers, they found mattresses with blood stains on them, man, and children's toys, man. So these Amalekites can go throughout the world, doing all this wickedness, committing all these heinous acts amongst the nations, amongst Ishmael, amongst all these nations. And in the moment you call them out, you're looked at as the villain. Why? Because the law is slacked, man. In this current world, where the foundations are out of course, the law is slacked, man. And the wicked is ruling. The wicked has compassed the righteous, man. Job 9 and 24. But fortunately for us, we're coming into the era where Esau's world is coming to an end. And now he's being rightfully exposed for his wrongdoing and wickedness, man. This lesson ain't going to be long. I'm going to end this off with the book of Habakkuk. Let me check and see if I got the sound on, kind. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 15. It says, Woe unto them that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and makest them drunken also, that thou mayest look upon their nakedness. It says, For thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, let thy foreskin be uncovered, the lip of the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned against thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And that's what we're seeing happen to Esau Edom right now. We're seeing Esau being exposed for the wicked devil that he is. And all of these nations across the world, in the so-called Middle East, in Africa, all of these nations are rising up against Esau Edom. They know that this man is the destroyer of worlds. A quote that was said by the man responsible for creating either the nuclear or atomic bomb, Oppenheimer. He said, I become death, the destroyer of worlds, and that's Esau Edom. This man is a complete cancer to humanity. He is the destroyer of worlds, man. And now, he's filled for shameful glory. He's being uncovered. The sheets are being ripped off of him, and figuratively speaking, he's butt naked. He's exposed, man. And eventually, when the Lord returns, Esau Edom is going to have to answer for all of the wicked things that he's done, man. So this is only, this isn't even the beginning of what Esau is going to have to face, man.
Yo, if
Government is
It
now
doesn't matter if they shut the internet down. If some of us have to be martyrs for this truth, justice is going to arise, man, by Yahweh, by Shameful. And all we have to do is wait. So I hope this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Wa Ababal, and until the next lesson.